So we'll begin again with our box. Since we're all familiar with that, it's a good place to begin. So we just looked at that. The light source is in front of the box here. So we're expecting our shadow to be over here, and there it is. Okay, so there's our first point. And I'm going to do what I mentioned before. I'm going to just use the dot on the floor because I know I can use my vanishing points for the other lines. So if I know where the length of the shadow for this side of the box is, I can use this vanishing point to give me this side of the box in shadow. Where they meet, that will be fine. And then I can use this vanishing point to give me this side, because I've drawn this with that vanishing point. This shadow is the shadow for this side of the box. Now, to get this one, I just need this vanishing point, and where it touches this perspective line, I'm done. And I can put a shadow. See, this now, this corner lines up with the vanishing point. So that I'm done. That's it. That's the shadow. This is it. This now is the shadow for this side of the box. Okay, now the sphere is a little bit different. We haven't done that before. So what you have to do is project the box first. So I'm going to go through this corner, bring it down, go through this corner, bring it forward. Then this, I'm going to go from here through here. So once again, you see the importance of being an expert at sketching these boxes, because everything ends up being in a box. So now this shows me that this box, I'm trying to make this box projected onto the floor. It's a 1-point perspective box, so I know that this has to end like this. This is a shadow for that line, this is a shadow for that line, and this is a shadow for that line. So that's it. That's all I need. There's my box, and I know this is straight because this is straight and this is straight. So I'm just going to go in there and make my diagram, divide into my thirds. This is crucial. If you don't do this, all of your circle will be in the wrong place. So what I'm anticipating is this same sphere, a little bit distorted and on the floor. So I divide into my thirds. And you have to remember with your thirds, don't fill the whole box up. You've got to get it to come round, but don't fill the whole thing up. You've got to leave some space open. So there's my shadow, my curvilinear lines. Why it's so important to keep practicing your curvilinear lines. So there it is. That's the shadow. Now this is being lit from above, so the shadow for this would be like a penumbra, would be like that. So I've got my two shadows. Now, cylinder and the cone are a little bit different. What I need to do here, they're close to the wall, so I'm anticipating a shadow from them on the wall. So I have to go through the middle for the cone. Go through the middle, keep on going. And this is in the middle. So I use this through that top. Oops. keep on going, and that's where they meet. So if the wall wasn't there, I would just join the widest part of my cone to this, and I join the widest part of the cone on this side to this point. Remember how I got that point? I got it from extending the center using where the light hits the floor and brought it all the way back. So that would be the shadow if the wall wasn't there, but the wall is there. So I've got to take the center and go up the wall. Where the wall hits, where the shadow hits the wall, it goes straight up the wall. This red line tells me to stop. Then it's just a matter of taking where this blue line hits the wall and joining it to the height. And I take this as hitting this wall and I join it. So this is kind of an interesting shadow. Not only is it going up the wall, it's going up both walls. And that's how that would look. Now this stuff, if you're just watching and you're not trying it, then there's always shadow underneath everything as well. If you're not trying it, you're not understanding it. You've got to try it to understand it. Okay, this one again, we're going to go through the middle and pretend the wall isn't here. Then we'll go through this point, through the widest part here and the widest part. Now when I hit the widest part, I go straight up. And then I get a point on this ellipse. When I go through the center here, I go from here, go straight up, and I get another point. And it's these points that I drop to the floor. And here we are. That's my first point. Now I've got this point. Remember this point where I got this point from the center. So I project that. And it touches here. And I've got a third point. I've got to go through the widest part back here. So this is the widest part back here. So I've got an angle like that. My pencil's too dull now. I really should have stopped and sharpened it. So don't let that happen to you. So here's now my other part, my other dot, where that touches here. So there's my other dot. So I go from here through here, and there's my other dot. Now if the wall wasn't in the way, that's how my shadow would end, because this is the shadow for that curve right from here to here. It's that curve, and you can see it's true, but it doesn't. So I've got to go up the wall, and I've got to go up the wall, and this one goes up this wall, and this one I have to go back now. So this is the line for this dot. The line for this dot is here, so I would go up to here. See the center here, that I would go up to here. And this one, the line for that one, let's see now, is here. So for this one I would have to draw, I'll use a different color here. I would go from here through here and through there, and that would be my shadow. And the shadow begins where this touches, so the actual shadow begins here. but the rest is getting light. And there's my line from my wall is right there. Shadows are transparent, so I would see my wall. The shadow on the cone begins here, where this hits this. That's the shadow for my cone, where the shadow side begins. On the wall itself, there'll be penumbra, so the shadow in the corner, and you won't want to make a big deal of this. You just want your color to be a little darker over in these corners. And if you look around the room that you're in right now, you'll see that even if the light source isn't in the center of the room, you'll see that the light falls off in the corners of the room. And it's the middle of the wall that's lit up. Likewise on the floor, that goes off a little bit as well.